Linda, good afternoon.
How you doing?
I am better than I deserve. I'll tell you what, we needed a break.
Uh, you know, it, yeah, we did. We did. And I'm glad you guys got to get away. And it sounds like you had a beautiful, beautiful trip.
We did. We were at Wyndham Ocean Ridge in Edisto, South Carolina. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Beautiful resort, very well maintained. The staff was phenomenal. Um, we were, I don't know, a mile or two away from the check-in area, and they never put enough coffee in the room for us. We just drink way too much coffee. But anyway, and he did everything by text message. So you got instant responses, right? And so I text down there, hey, we need some coffee filters and something else. I don't remember, something little. And they said, okay, thank you. And it seemed like 5 minutes later they were there. And I was like, I know it takes longer to go get in the car and drive down there, but yeah, it was wonderful. We saw some beautiful sunsets, saw the dolphins playing,
Oh, how
uh,
fun.
dolphins, not and yeah, we had a wonderful time.
You know, I think that's something that right now people are forgetting to do or feeling that they don't have the ability to do. But yeah, we need to be able to spend some time just stepping back from life and not necessarily, I mean, getting to go on a great trip. Not everybody can do that, but you can
Right?
still find ways to reset and relax
Yes.
from home.
Well, another thing too is I took the required electronics for my job and what I usually do personally and for my business. And I opened the work laptop once, didn't have a good internet connection, so I didn't open it until we got home. And
Yay.
of course, I have my phone, but it was just one of those. Okay, I would. I think when I got home, I had over 300 active, have not read. No, it was more than that because it took me almost an hour to go through and delete what needed to be deleted, right?
Oh,
And
yeah, the urgent
yeah,
emails.
looked for the urgent emails. And, there was one or two that I probably should have responded to earlier, but wasn't life threatening. It wasn't, and so I really felt good about my time away. I know my wife had a wonderful time. It was her birthday was on the 20th, and our son, daughter-in-law, and grandson, the 5-year-old, came up.
Oh, how
And
fun.
5-year-old is a water rat. He loves to be in the pool, loves to be in the ocean, loves the big waves. He's one of those that's go, 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 go. So you really got to watch him. And they had a blast. We had a great meal, and it was really good. And I'll tell you what, I haven't. We've taken cruises and things like that, but there almost always has seemed to be an edge.
Yeah.
And we have a lot going on, her work, my work, everything. We just have a whole lot going on, and decisions to be made about our business and all that kind of stuff. And this is probably the first time in probably 5 years that we really truly stepped back and didn't worry about anything. You know, um, the only time Rita was on a device was I got her a what's it called, a Chromebook,
Oh, yeah.
uh, because she has so many webinars and things like that she has to do from home, and she's got an old tablet that is always buffering, and the screen is this big, and she sits there and she squints and everything, and I got a great deal on this thing. And so that was basically, other than taking pictures and posting them and sending them to people, that was the only time she was on a device, and it was only to sign in and say, "Hey, this is way cool," and then she put it away, which is exactly what
Awesome.
I did. And so So yeah, we kind of took as much of a break as you can nowadays from social media.
Yeah.
Um, got a lot of people watching in. You know, you talk about the social media. There was a group of 10 or 12 adults and some kids. I don't remember how many kids. They're all standing in a circle on the beach during sunset, right? Some of them are talking on their phones. Some were obviously texting. They were talking back and forth. None of them was watching the sunset. One of them
And that's what you
finally,
go there for.
yeah, one of them finally stepped away and took a picture and then went right back to the group. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But you were in Seattle.
I was. Lydia and I went to Seattle. I had a conference that I was speaking at, and it was it was awesome. I have never been to Seattle when the sun was shining, and the
Oh,
sun came out
me.
both days. So that they said, "Oh yeah, this is our summer."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I'm like, it's awesome. I mean, we were able to walk around. The weather was gorgeous. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it was beautiful. And Lydia had never been, so we did the Space Needle, and that was a
Okay.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
And although we thought we could get food up there, and then the diner area said we'll be back, and then they never came back. So we ended up having to go find someplace else to eat.
I thought that was like a first class restaurant up there, wasn't it? No, it
I
wasn't
think
open.
they might have the restaurant. I don't think the restaurant is there anymore.
Oh,
Um, I didn't see it. They have a kind of a diner area where you pay extra to be able to go in there and sit, but I couldn't tell if anybody was serving in there either. There were people in there eating, but I didn't see anybody working in there. And you have to go in on a time thing. You
oh,
have you have a 15-minute window to get in line and go up when you buy the tickets. Um, but that was fine. I mean, once you're up there, you can stay as long as you want. Um, and it's kind of cool. They put the glass bottom so you can stand on the part that turns and look through. So
oh,
that was really cool. That
yeah,
was really cool.
yeah, yeah. That's some of that glass bottom stuff. Your mind,
Yeah.
you know, it, but you're also looking down. Glass bottom boats, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
you know.
And the elevator, it's glass. So, you just have to, and man, they pack you into that elevator. Oh
Oh
my
yeah,
gosh. They count,
yeah,
but they pack.
yeah,
And sometimes you can't even turn around.
yeah, yeah,
It's kind of like a clown car.
yeah, yeah. How many can we fit in today? Yeah,
Yeah. And, they're counting, but,
yeah.
it was fun though. But
That's good.
it was a really
And
good weekend.
I'm positive your speech went very well.
It went as good as it could. So
Yeah.
being the first one is always a challenge, and there were some they had been fighting with the audio for I think since the
Um,
night before when they set things up, and so it took a while to get things
yeah,
leveled out,
yeah,
but that was fine. That was fine. I'm used, I've given presentations where the video didn't work and all of that other stuff. So, you just roll with it.
yeah. It's funny you mentioned that when we worked at a church up in Cheyenne, Wyoming, we had a
Yeah.
group of kids would perform, and they would run a worship service every Friday night. But when we would rehearse, as they were rehearsing, I'd turn the background music off to just to see how they would respond, and so they got to a point where whenever the music went on, they just kept going. And then when could I just mute it, and then when it came back on, they were right on track and stuff like that. And so, I guess one of the thought processes or lessons there, when you lose your audio visual, you lose your presentation and stuff like that, you just got to keep going.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because my talk is on resilience.
Uh-huh. So you had to
So
be.
So I got to be resilience in action. It was wonderful. And I did get a lot of good feedback from it afterwards. So it was it was just interesting. But we were having feedback because how the room was situated. It's the same room we used last year, and we had done it the long way, and they wanted people to be more up to the front, so they switched where they put the stage, and it ended up being right under the speakers. So we were
Oh,
getting feedback, but and we're looking around looking for the speakers, and they were in the
this,
ceiling right above us, and we were in the part that came, so like it came down to about here, you know, and so then. And then the speakers were like here and here, so you really didn't have a whole lot of room until they got it figured out. And I just told everybody I'm the warm-up act. So
there you go. But it's funny. The more you speak, the more you expect the unexpected. You know,
yeah,
um, I've been in a position where I've had to give a message, and you go through it and you're well prepared and everything else. And I use notes, especially for anything that is a quote, or if I'm quoting a specific person or a scripture or whatever, for accuracy's sake, right? You don't want to misquote, you don't want to misrepresent.
right.
And I was in a position at one point in time, for some reason, um, the way the lighting was, it hit in such a way that I the notes were a blank page, and so it's like, I need to be careful here, not to misquote, especially since we're guys in the audience who were much more educated in on the theological side than I was, but it's kind of funny, So you just keep going,
Yeah. And that's the thing, is not to let it it's a presentation. Nobody's gonna die if I mess
right?
up. Um I was worried about running out of time, and I think I had plenty of time at the end. Because I probably skipped quite a bit. I had my notes, and they had the prompter so I could, see. But it had been a long time since I'd done something like that. So
Yeah.
the one thing that I was worried about being the problem, which was the voice, was not the problem. So
Ah, okay. Okay. All right. So I know it was a whirlwind trip. Did you get any time to relax?
we did. We did go to the Space Needle, and then they have a really nice restaurant in the hotel. So we went and had a couple of meals there, and just were able to put our feet up and relax and take our time. So it was nice, and we walked around a little bit
Yeah. Okay.
outside, because the weather was nice. And we thought about trying to walk a little, but the hills are so when you're that close to the sound, the
Yeah.
hills are pretty steep. And I looked
Right.
at Lydia and I said, "Do you want to try it?" She said, "No."
Don't blame her. I don't blame her.
No,
So
no, that sets the ticker off. We don't want to do that. So
I know you're on the go a lot. You do a lot of things, your business and everything else. So what do you do to when you get to a point where you really need to know you need to relax, or at the end of the day, what do you do? How do you relax and get rid of the worries of the day?
this seems like such a dumb thing, but I have games on my phone that I play.
Okay. Okay.
Like I like the arrow ones where you have to get they've got the shapes and get the arrows out. One of them's a 3D
Oh,
arrow one. Um, I've got, my mahjong and all
oh,
those
my
dumb
wife.
things, but and the Sudoku, which or Sudoku,
Yeah.
that allows me to concentrate on one thing in specific, and you know, I can't be thinking about anything else while I'm trying to do that. So it's kind of nice. It just lets me, it's dumb stuff, it's meaningless stuff, and it just lets my brain relax. A lot of times I like to turn the TV on and watch like HGTV or Food Network. Um, because I love to watch people cook because I'm not a good cook. So I love to watch what everybody else does. And last weekend we went canning and we canned peaches. And we're supposed to
Okay.
get those back tonight. And then I think we're doing pizza sauce and some other tomatoey stuff on Saturday. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So
sound like a way to relax, but it really is because we get a lot of
it,
good
it,
girl time.
when we were up in Wyoming, about the only thing you could grow in Cheyenne that would last through the hailstorms was zucchini. It was always to a point where the tomatoes are looking good, they're good size. Now they need to ripen up, and here comes the hail.
Yep.
You know, and there wasn't anything. We were almost always at work or out and about, and there's no way to get home and cover everything. But anyway, one year, I don't know how we planted so much zucchini, but I found a recipe to make basically preserves.
Oh,
And
okay.
so the flavoring was Jello, and
Interesting.
and
Well,
there's
the
some
the gelatin is the set.
yeah. And so I don't know how many jars of that we made. I know that um, there was no way we could ever. We gave it away. We
Yeah.
gave it away. Put it in. We put it in fancy little jars and gave it to friends and family and a bunch of people at church and everything else. And they would look at it, and so it says strawberry, and it tastes like strawberry, and
Yeah.
there's no strawberries in it, but it was zucchini. But yeah, we had fun with that, and like you say, the cooking that I sometimes the cooking shows don't relax me just because I've been in the kitchen that requires you to get that stuff out
Right.
right now.
Right.
But um, yeah, that my wife loves that, but she plays that mahjong, and it takes her mind down to the level where she can relax, and it's like after those last couple of days at work and some of the stresses and stuff that she had to deal with, she came home, she was hungry when she got home, so I had dinner ready for her, and then she sat down and played that mahjong for, I don't know, probably about 30, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, somewhere thereabouts. And now her mind is, you know, refocused on life, you know.
It's kind of a mindless activity
Yeah. Hmm.
and it's very easy to overuse.
Yeah.
Like when I'm really stressed, I spend a lot of time on there, and that's not a good thing, but it does allow me to focus on just what I'm doing and release all of the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And and especially, for women, because their minds just, and men do not understand this at all. Their minds just work differently. I listened to a guy, and he was talking about they had a person, they had a husband and a wife. They set him in a room for, I don't know, it was not a long time, 15, 20 minutes. And then uh, brought them out and said, "So you sat quietly, just relaxed and everything else. What were you thinking about?" And almost all the women were revisiting a conversation that they had that they need to go forward on, and all the plans and everything else. And 95% of the men said nothing. I mean, it's, and uh, the top three for men was nothing, sports, and sex. So,
Yeah. And
so
I've tried to think about nothing, and I can't empty my head like that.
most women can't. Yeah, it's the way we're wired just so differently, and guys don't understand it. They really don't. And when
I
my
mean,
wife
not
says,
intentionally. My brain goes blank a lot, but
"Yeah,
I
right, yeah," that's a sign of our age sometimes. And so, but to relax, that relaxation, and it's not just the physical. You have to relax the mind. You have to have that mental
yes.
relaxation. I like to sit. I have a couple of different relaxation. subliminal things that I'll listen to, and that just takes me down a level. Um, but other than that, I have to turn the electronics off. And I have to, when I play that, I have to play basically in dark mode, turn the phone over, or I'm going to be looking at, email, text, and all that kind of stuff. And so that does help me to relax. But the other thing is walking with the puppies.
I was gonna
Um,
say, if you've got pets, if you've
yep,
got dogs, taking them for walks is a great release.
yeah, and so I'd encourage you folks that are listening. You got to find those things that's going to take your mind down a level, and your body also. I mean, you can't
Yeah,
be in high alert and everything else, mentally, physically. Had a doctor. It's the time of the year for all my. I have way too many doctors. You get to a certain, growing up, I had one, and but anyway, um, basically that the physical relaxation is sometimes more important than the mental side of it, because you
yeah.
just have to let your body recover.
And we're kind of coming back around again to where people feel like they can't take that time. And a lot of times work is like they don't allow that downtime. If you're not doing something, you're wasting time. And I'm like way too sedentary. I sit way too much because I'm always in front of the computer or I'm always on my phone. And I really need to get more active. But again, this year it was so hot and the air quality was so bad, there wasn't a whole lot I could do outside. But I'm going to start redirecting some of that pent up energy and frustration into something more physical. And then when I am relaxing and my body's not doing something, then that will be rest and not boredom.
Right, exactly,
Because
exactly.
just sitting around doing nothing isn't resting.
Yeah,
It's not
no,
relaxing, it's not refreshing. Because a lot of times we're sitting around doing nothing and our brains are going crazy, going, you know,
yeah,
need to
million
do
miles.
something, but we don't. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I have to admire my wife and some of the things that she does in order. Well, she does. They call it a cold plunge,
Oh,
and yeah. So you sit in the sauna for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever, and then you jump into a pool that's about 50 degrees. And, I'm like, no, no, I left Wyoming because of the cold. That's
I
the
just
only.
always figured that'd give me a heart attack.
Yeah, me too, me too. But I do know that the one thing I did a little bit of research on it, and first off, it's supposed to be good for you. It gives you some mental clarity
Yeah.
and things like that on that side of it. But the other thing, and I had forgotten about it, but what I used to do a lot was, I hot showers, just love a hot shower. But at the end of that hot shower, 30 to 60 seconds worth of cold water just improves the circulation, and and I don't get it real cold, but it's like but it's a difference. I'm not going to get cold, that's for sure, and I count to 30. So it,
I know it's supposed to be refreshing, but it just sounds bone chilling to me.
yeah, and I challenged myself at the beginning of the month to to do some different things. When I'm at work, I get plenty of physical activity. I'll average between 16 and 20,000 steps, but I don't do that 5 days a week or 4 days a week. If
Right.
sometimes, and so I have to do something those other days, and my biggest issue is I probably need somebody to say, "Hey Sam, it's time. Let's do." So
Let's get up and go.
so, but yeah, that's folks, that relaxation part of your life is very, very, very important. You can't go all the time.
No. And it's not just for people in our age group.
No, no,
I think younger people don't know how to relax.
no, no, and I would agree. I would agree. I think about kids and grandkids, and unfortunately, our kids and grandkids got their idea of what life should look like by our work ethic and
Right,
the
right.
go all the time. Um, and so that's a learned, so now it's time for us to teach them how to relax and teach them when to relax. And um, yeah, so that's a regret that I have, but um,
Well, and I think, that's how we were,
yeah, yeah,
how we learned.
we learned,
And
yeah,
I think we need to take more advantage of what technology and electronics have allowed us to do that should allow us more time to relax.
right, right,
And I think we try to fill that relaxation time with other things
yeah,
instead of
yeah.
what we need. But, for me, relaxation means really, if I really want to relax, I read. And
Oh yeah,
I don't read on the computer and I don't read on the phone. I read.
yeah, with a book, yeah.
Yeah.
So many people don't. You ask them what they're reading, and they tell you. And I said, "Well, did you buy the book?" "Oh no, I got it on Kindle, or I've got it."
Yeah.
I'm bad about that to a certain extent, but I've got two that I'm halfway through that I'm actually reading, and so,
Yeah.
but I set aside so much time, you
Yeah.
know, and sometimes even that's not enough. But yeah, no, I think you're right. That's it.
It's just hard to travel with books.
It
They're
is.
heavy, even the paperbacks, you can only take a few. Um, and I've been listening to more on Audible just
Yeah.
so I can listen to it in the car or on the plane or wherever I'm going. But um, right now I'm listening to Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. And
What's it called?
he does Green Lights,
Okay.
and he does the audio. He's doing the audio for the audiobook, and it's wonderful because,
Okay.
um, I think he did it for his 50th.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay.
um, but, and I probably, if I were reading it, I would hear it in his voice because I'm familiar with him. But I think to have the author read
Yeah. Yeah.
something in their voice is so outstanding.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. He's supposed to be at a convention my wife is supposed to go to in the fall.
Oh, cool.
He's a keynote speaker, so
Oh, that
some
should be awesome.
some dental thing. So, but anyway, so Linda, this has been good. I'm glad you got a chance to go speak. I knew that was coming up. Um, and
I'm glad you
congratulations.
guys got it. Thank you. And I'm glad you guys got a chance to get away and relax a little bit and get some
So,
you time.
so folks, if you would, if this has been a blessing to you, in any way, shape, or form, please like and share it, and drop a comment. Let us know where you're listening from, and give us a shout out to your friends.
Thanks. And we should see you all next week.
All right, sounds good. Take care,
All right.
Linda.
Bye-bye.